Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get not so excited about having the cheering crowd noise in the background, but it's a button I can press, and I'm a 12-year-old boy trapped in a middle-aged man's body. Anyways, hello everybody, welcome back to another talk, as we say. Happy you're here. If you're live, hello, happy Thursday. It's a bit of a gloomy day outside the window, raining and all that kind of stuff. At least it's not snowing for the end of October. If you're watching this on any of the channels, podcasts, video, all around the web, our website, carpetcleanersuccess.com, where everything kind of lives. If you're on any of those channels and you're seeing this after the fact, well, welcome. Glad you're joining in and enjoy these masterclass study classes. So these ones are not again, we love doing interviews. Anybody wants to jump on an interview, it's great for your local authority. It's great for what we're going to talk about. We love having podcast guests. It helps you, it helps the industry. And I like talking to people. You know what that's all about. So, and industry influencers as well and stuff like that. But we're going to be talking about social media today, right? So it's a topic we haven't kind of come back to in a while. If you're okay with my little rant about shit hitting the fan, if you're okay with me swearing too, shit's hitting the fan. So as we keep talking about over the last quite a while on these monthly master classes, the world's changing massively around us. So it doesn't matter that the last 30, 40 years, 20, 30 years, which depending which economist you look at, talks about the wealth gap, the top 1, 5, 10% in Western society and globally, but here in North America, here in Canada, US, right, are getting wealthier. While the average middle class, the remaining 90%, are not actually eroding in wealth. The income gap, the top 1, 5, 10%, their incomes have risen. So wealth has risen, income has risen, while for everybody else, it hasn't. It's stagnated or dropped. So why the hell am I telling you that? Well, what it means is just on that basic macroeconomics alone, inflation is taking more of a bigger bite out of our dollars. We've increased the M1, M2 money supplies or globally. So we've added more money into the system. It's just like, if you more things in for the same amount of people taking out, the value goes down. So the value of the dollar is dropping like crazy, as we know. The ability to afford stuff is dropping. And now we've got this crazy, massive disruption in human society, human existence called AI, which is this massive tsunami wave that's right there. Like it's right in front of us. It is massive. And we say, well, I know ChatGPT. Yeah, that's not it. That's not it at all. It's the fastest adopted technology in human history. It's the first time we've ever invented something that can invent something itself. So we've invented the inventor. We have grown as a society over millennia by inventing new things. The wheel, fire, you name it, plastic, industrial revolution, all that kind of stuff. We have now invented the inventor. What is that going to mean? We don't know. We don't know. We're just massively all rolling that way. It is the great equalizer, which means that no longer do big companies with big budgets can hire lots and lots of really smart people to do a lot of things that you and I weren't able to do or had to spend weeks and months learning to do. We can now learn those things in hours and implement AI agents, AI browsers, AI, you name it, to help us, right? AI is a tractor. We're still the farmer. It's not the smart person in the room. You are. It's the tool. It's the tractor for the farmer. Is the tractor better than using horse and buggies and hoe on the back of an ox? Absolutely. Way better, right? And look at tractors nowadays. They drive themselves. They got GPS. They got all that kind of stuff. Cool. It's still just a tractor. You still need to be strategic, understand what the data means, understand how to do it, right? So the wealth gap means that our very best clients are the wealthier, because the middle class are having less and less money. They're spending less and less on discretionary income. They're also the first replaced. So as the economy is in flux, are we about to have a recession? Because anytime the numbers look like this, we have a massive recession. We had them in 8, 9, we had it in 2001, 2. There's about every 18 years we go through this crunch. For one, we got the 4-year money cycle, 18-year money or housing and boom bust cycle, stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of different, you got the 80-year Strauss-Howe generational theory with the 20-year the 1, 2, 3, fourth turning. We're in the fourth turning. There's a lot of things. The fourth turning is happening right now. The 18.2-year cycle since the last crash is happening. We're at the end of a 4-year liquidity cycle. So stock market's at all-time high. Euphoria before it crashes. What does that mean? Don't know. What does it mean for you and I? Well, we need to go out and do jobs. We got to get work. We got to get cleaning customers. At the same time, people are searching less. Where they're actually searching more, but they're finding, like, they're using AI, they're using ChatGPT, they're using generative AI. Google's going to be putting pay-per-click into AI search because it's changing. Your website has to be all ready for all of this kind of stuff. It's a whole separate avenue. It's not, oh, my SEO guy does that. Does he? It's not part of SEO. AI SEO or generative SEO or search everywhere optimization is different. One of those differences is what we're going to talk about today. Let me hop over. You're going to see me up in the top corner, and let's hop in over and get into it, because this is really serious stuff. There is a lot of businesses that are hemorrhaging and going out of business while other ones are taking over. And it's part of how you enter the marketplace, how you enter the conversations in the marketplace. And that is not about how well you clean the carpet and being the guy in the truck. Or if you're the guy in the office who've got a couple people on the road, 2, 3, 5, 10 trucks on the road, whatever you're at, wherever level you're at, right? Whatever that is, how are you going to continue to grow when everything you've done before is starting to change? And even the 22-year-old kid who just started a cleaning business because he can't figure out what else to do, and coding isn't a job anymore because it can be all done by AI or whatever, is now knows how to do all this stuff better and faster than you. So you got to keep up. So depending on where you are, young, middle of the road, later in your business cycle or later in age, how are you solidifying your business? It's not just word of mouth. That doesn't exist anymore. And I'm going to prove that to you as well.
Welcome to the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast, a show created to inspire carpet cleaning business owners to build their own thriving residential and commercial cleaning business. Your host, John Clendenning, has built and sold successful cleaning businesses for multiple six figures over his 30-year career, and is the founder of Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, a digital agency that turns your online marketing into a lead generation machine. Tune in as John shares proven tips, strategies, and expert interviews to help fast-track your success in the carpet cleaning industry.
So let's get into this. There we go. Okay. So normal stuff. Turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. Again, unless you're watching on your cell phone, then keep your cell phone on, but turn off your notifications. If you're home service cleaning and you're serious about getting results, this next 60, 75, 80 minutes is could potentially change your life. Really could. I've had people come back to me time and time again saying, that listening to these podcasts, reading the book, got a new book coming out soon, just trying to put some wraps up on it, on how AI is affecting everything in the marketing world. Psychology is still the same. Humans are still the same. We still kind of buy the same way we bought 2,000, 3,000 years ago at the crossroads where, I had eggs and you had ducks and I needed your ducks and you need my eggs, or whatever the analogy you want. And we traded, and then we figured out this shiny metal that we would try. I want your eggs, I'm going to give you the shiny metal. We created finance, blah, blah, blah. Then it became pieces of paper, and all this kind of stuff. But the way humans interact and do stuff is the same. Where we do that and how we see what we need to see, how we market to these people, massively changed, right? So we're gonna dive into that. I want to remind you that we're going to talk about using social media the right way in 2025 and beyond to become the top local brand. Part of what you need to do, and you'll see that, that if you've been on these, you've got to be top of mind, because AI is going to suggest 2 or 3 choices. Of course, you should be one of those, but how is somebody going to decide if they didn't go to your website, if they didn't read all the content like they used to? They're searching more, they're clicking less. 0-click search. Well, it's because they saw you on social media. They saw your van. They saw your door hangers. They saw your QR codes. They saw your post, your yard signs, and your real estate agent, interior designer, and all those other people. Like, all your other poles in the water all work together. Your reputation and how you market that works together. Your unique sales proposition, why you're different than everybody else, and how you market that works together. If you own a cleaning business, you own a local business at all, your primary identity as a person, part of your identity, you're a father, you're a mother, you're a husband, you're a wife, you're a brother, you're a sister. These are all our identities, right? But you are the marketer of the services you provide. You're the marketer and the chief promoter. That's what you do every day. If you happen to still be in the truck, that's just because you're waiting to hire somebody. You are not the cleaner. You're not the doer. You're not the technician. We hire those. You are the marketer and promoter. That's how you grow. The fact that only 15% of cleaning businesses make it to $500,000 and 0.003% make it to $1 million. But once they do, making it to 5 and 10 million is like 5,000% more of the people that make it to $1 million. 5,000 make it as a percentage rate from who made it to $1 million. It make it to the 5 and 10 million. So and beyond, because there's a code to be cracked. We talked about this back in the 2-day intensive we did with CleanFacts Magazine back in March, and the ISSA. Jeff Cross and I got on that, and I did a eye-opening presentation called The Brutal Truth at the beginning of that. And then we had all John Bronze, if you're on this, hey John, and Frankie Finns and Nate Haggerty's and all these, and Troy Humphreys and all these guys, right? All kinds of really cool guys and gals on the training, Mark Sager, all that kind of stuff, to show how to actually survive and thrive in this massive changes. If you haven't been in business since 2008, you don't even know what's coming, right? Can we stave it off? Can it bounce a little bit later? Can it be a soft landing? Whatever. But it was brutal, right? Those who survived the 2008, 9, 10 crash, right? Recession, whatever you called it. Those who survived, their businesses might went down 10%, 15%. The ones that didn't survive, their business dropped 40, 50% overnight and didn't rebound until they hemorrhaged money and had to find another job or whatever, right? So yeah, word of mouth isn't going to keep us going. Social media, the right way, right? So why social media recipe is now critical in our AI-powered era. Social media is not just, I don't know what to do. There is an exact way to do it. Everything we talk about, there's an exact blueprint to grow a $500,000 $1 million cleaning company. We'll show you that at the end here, but there's a proven path that the very few who have made it did. There's nuances, changes, but they did. It's the same proven program, path, thinking process, do, market like crazy until you create operations problems because you're too busy. Now you fix operations problems, solve the mess you made, and now you grow some more. You market, you grow, you do it. You keep expanding, and now you create data and finance problems. You have to understand the law of bigger numbers. You have to understand how to dig into the weeds and know why one technician is upselling more than another one. And you do that after you've got the other parts figured out. We all have the next thing we need to learn and do. So Repurpose engine, we're going to talk about that as well. Turn one update into weeks of viral content. That's a really good one, right? We're going to figure out how to kind of automate this stuff, blending authentic posts with AI enhanced creativity. So if that all sounds good to you, we're going to give me some prompts we're going to share with you and stuff like that. We're going to show you how to kind of do this, but how to do it easier, better, faster. Because again, AI is the great equalizer. Other people can do this as well, but it also makes things bland. So we got to add the human element back into it. Humans are going to be buying more and more and more from humans as AI takes stuff over. So it's one of my reasons why I don't think you don't have AI answer your phones or have a self-booking anything. It can't fix that human element. You have humans in the loop to be the warm, nurturing, of the inquiries coming in, of the turning a customer into a client, all that kind of stuff, helping build those moments so that people, know, like, and trust and love you, share you, stick with you forever. Because we only make money in the cleaning industry, really, on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th, 20th cleaning, not the first. The first is just to try and find a customer that we can turn into a lifetime client and make all the money from them. The first time, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 return on investment from the source, that's not bad. Because we landed yet another person that our job is now to market the crap out of, to make them want to stick with us forever, become a VIP, and refer their friends, right? That's our job. Our job is to market to referral partners that can find these same people for us, and. So all the things that we talk about. So let's get into it. So who am I? Well, if you don't know me, John Clendenning, I've owned cleaning businesses since I was in high school. As a shy kid that couldn't talk to anybody, was one of my window cleaning, night janitorial. My buddy Scott did all the presentations in high school with me. He talked. I was the brains behind it. He never had to do any of the work. And then when I started my first business in high school, a window cleaning business, he did all the talking. Really good guy, really good schmoozer. He did the talking. I planned the stuff. I structured the bit, learned all about executive summaries and running businesses and marketing plans and stuff like that, and put all that in place. I have owned cleaning businesses, franchises, worked in the franchise network, built multi-million-dollar cleaning company, starting in a town of 30,000 people. In 1995 was my first carpet cleaning company. Obviously doing like a couple $100 in the first month. By the end of the first year, May of 1996, I was doing $10,000 a month. Within the next 6 months, I was out of the truck permanently. 1995, now 1996, 30 years ago. I talk to cleaners all day long that haven't even made it to $10,000 yet. Obviously, growing to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month, and then doubling that to 100,000 a month and getting your $1 million run rate allows you to have something to sell, a legacy, something to build. And there's ways to do that in small towns, and there's ways to do that in big towns. And that's one thing I consult on all day long, every day. So I've done that. I consult, I've lectured, I've run 3-day elite retreat workshops around the world and all that kind of stuff. I'm a marketing consultant. I wrote the book on how to market for cleaning services and that kind of thing. So and I'm also the author of the Carpet Cleaner Success podcast. The other thing, obviously, I'm industry leader of the year in Clean Facts magazine. There's me and Jeff. We get on every single month. I've been on the stage with Howard Partridge and all the guys that we know. There's Mark Sager and Dusty Roberts and Jeff Gross and me, all of us, stuff like that. And you can just go to Clean Facts magazine, just type in the search John Clendenning, and you'll just see the hundreds of articles and content and stuff like that. I'm all in on this industry. Have been for 30 years, still am. I've sold all my brick and mortar businesses, cashed out of that, and to be all in on this, right? So on helping market and consult and help the industry get better and better and better. So what I care more about is what we've done with our clients. So just kind of we help our clients become number one everywhere and stand out and make way more money. Our actual ideal goal, it's called done together marketing. Your marketing, anybody who helps you with marketing shouldn't just be doing one thing. It's all about knowing your industry, knowing all the poles in the water, what your role is, what our role is, how we work together, right? So in a proper done together marketing framework, you should actually be able to, if you're new to the business, if you're just maturing, if you've got a lot of gaps between where you are and where you want to go, a lot of gaps, you should be able to double in 1 year. You do your part, we do our part. There's very specific roles for people to run these businesses. There's an exact blueprint that makes this happen. And done well, you should be able to double from 200,000 to 400,000 in a year. Easy. Now, if you're already doing 2 million, are you going to double to 4 million? We've done that with clients. It's a little bit harder, a little bit of growth through acquisition and a bunch of other stuff like that for sure. But yeah, it's all doable. So you want to understand that there is a right way to do this. And typically the right way to do this, I love truck mount forums and Mikey's boards and all those kind of stuff. Some of the guys on there get it. They do. They're a great place to understand how to technically do the job. For sure. I've got a Haitian cotton couch. It turned yellow. What the heck do I do? Lots of great answers. Are they always the 0.003% that made it over 1 million, or the 15% of all cleaners that ever made it over 500,000, where they're out of the truck, they can take a vacation and there's still people making money for them out on the job. They can take a couple months off to deal with a sick parent or something like that, and the business still runs. They can semi-retire in 10, 15 years or 5 years, wherever they want to go, and work on the business, not in it, and have it operate. I don't know. You ask them. But what I find is those people tend to bow out of those forums pretty quickly because nobody really wants to hear about how to build a proper full business. They want to know how do I do the best Facebook ad? Okay, well, in the mix of everything you're doing? Well, no, I just do Facebook ads. That's a problem. Now you had a huge risk, right? So anyways, how do we do? We make our clients the top cleaning brand in their local marketplace, so they attract the best clients, are able to charge the top rates, and are booked out weeks in advance. Sounds good, right? How do we do that? Right. There's only 3 principles to being omnipresent, because it's an integrative on omnipresence. You need all of your marketing to work together. So if you want to be the general contractor of marketing and understand your full brand scope, understand your full brand messaging, your foundation, your compelling sales proposition, risk reversal guarantee, founder story, and impactful brand messaging. If you understand all of that, have that dialed in, and you go to all your vendors and you put it all in place and you deal with your, the stuff like that, and you're the growth partner and you're just assigning things, good on you. But more so, you actually have a role to also play on top of that. So sometimes it's better just to hire somebody who is your growth partner, who understands integrative omnipresence marketing, how everything you do, everything that's happening online, offline, everywhere, all ties together to lift all ships up. Like rising tides lifts all ships. You want all of it to work together so that your social media makes your door hangers and your every door mail work better because they've seen you more often. Your vans and QR codes and yard signs and door hangers makes it easier to find real estate agents to refer you and, right? So, and then you have a referral program and they see other happy customer stories. It all ties together. Anywhere they look, your reputation is being marketed everywhere they look, all that kind of stuff. So master classes, everything I just said, we have master classes on, but we're going to build your omnipresence starts with maximizing your opportunity to generate a qualified lead. You got to figure out what a qualified inquiry is. What's qualified for you? Are you taking golf course road homes and semi-retired or people over 55 years old, empty nesters living in high-end condos? Do you want your average job to be $500, $600, $800, $1,000 like many of our clients is their average cleaning job? Yeah, well, now you know who's qualified. So where do they go? Do you want to clean up, frat party puke and rental income, and your average job is $100? Well, if that's qualified for you, you're going to need 5, 6, 7 of those a day to make enough money to keep the truck from being rusted out 5 years from now and the equipment and all that kind of stuff, right? So you're going to figure out, or you're going to do 1 or 2 jobs a day and bring in $2,000. Your choice. Marketplace determines that. There's a demographic study that needs to be done. All of this kind of stuff we help with all of our clients. We do a full entire brand deep dive and competitor analysis. We can do that complimentary for some people. If you reach out, we have some room to do that. But you want to figure out who your qualified people in your marketplace is. Go back to my opening rant. Your qualified people, the middle class, have less and less money every day. So there's less and less of them. And in fact, most of your competitors are aiming at them too, because they don't know any of this stuff. So the fact you're even on here, you're understanding that 1, 5, 10% of the population that have all the money, all the wealth, their income are rising, all of that will hire and pay more. That's who you should be targeting, in my opinion. Now you want to maximize your brand impressions. Why? People don't buy. I was talking to somebody the other day. Yeah, I just put out every door mail, like 10,000 of them. Didn't really get any calls. I'm not going to do that again. And I go, oh, cool. How many times have you run it? Oh, I just put it out once. Are you maximizing your brand impressions? How else do these people know you? Why do they trust you? You just literally put one shot across the bow. How many people in that neighborhood are even ready to clean this month? Right? So back in the days of flyer marketing, Jim Wolverton, Big Pink Flyer, stuff like that. I knew Jim well. Back in those days, it was like hit the same neighborhood with the same incredibly well-written, super, super, super neurolinguistic programming, thoughtful copy on 11 by 17, both sides, massive, like big stuff, big oversized postcards, big oversized to get the point across. And all you're still trying to do is nag at them and go, I don't need my cleaning done, but these guys seem cool. And then they get it again. And then they get it again. Then they look out the door and they see a yard sign. Oh my God, somebody took that guy up on that offer. I'm going to go ask Nancy how it was. And you got yard signs and door hangers. And now you're starting to create a brand impression. And then they start asking online in social media groups and stuff like that. And, oh yeah, I've heard of these guys. Yeah. Now you have what Google calls ZMOT, zero moment of truth. Zero moment of truth means it used to say 11. Now it's over 20 impressions of a brand before they know, like, and trust you enough to pull the box of cereal off the shelf and say, I want this one, or call the carpet cleaner. It isn't one, right? So we got to maximize our brand impressions. It's got to be part of your marketing mix, right? You do not drive around in a white van with a magnet on the side of it. That is You don't, rule number one, you don't show up in jeans and a t-shirt. You're in a uniform. You stand out. You make brand impressions. You make brand impressions. You make brand impressions, right? That's why you're the marketer of cleaning services first and the promoter, everything else second. You want to maximize your conversions. You can get 100 people to call you. If you don't know how to convert more of them, we got people telling us, oh yeah, I book 75% of the calls that I answer. We listen to them. One, they only answer 50% of the calls coming in. That's a problem. And it's not 75%. They've never tracked it. We say, you know what? Your repeats are 100%. That's great. They should be. Your cold leads, 20, 25. That's nowhere near good enough, right? So you want to maximize your conversions by having better scripts, better follow-ups. You want to chase people over the next 2 to 3 weeks with a drip. Anybody who doesn't book today should hear from you tomorrow, hear from you in 3 days, hear from you in 7 days with really targeted, thoughtful stuff. You do that, and now you're maximizing, and we've done an entire masterclass on this as well. Now you're maximizing every single inbound inquiry. They've seen you, you got brand impressions, and then, all of that kind of stuff. And now you pulled it all together. And a lot of people say, John, this sounds hard. Yep. If business was easy, 96%, 95% of all small businesses would not be out of business in 10 years, 80% in 5 years. If it was easy, everyone could do it. You didn't buy yourself a job. You run a business. You got to learn it. Listen to or read the E-Myth. Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited. Listen to, read, podcasts like this. Tommy Mello, can't remember the name of his book right now, but now he does garage door open and stuff like that, but it's all still in-home service. It fits with us. There's lots and lots of people that we can understand. There is a way to run a business properly. You are marketing and creating memorable moments at every single stage. We actually have an entire blueprint marketing plan for that, but and I'll show you at the end here, but yeah, you got to be thinking through and adding next, then next. You're stacking, you're layering. This is one of those layers, the social media dilemma, right? So what is the problem with social media? Inconsistent. I look at people, oh, you posted for 3 months straight back in 2023. Last time you posted was happy 4th of July, maybe, right? So inconsistent, not creating a pattern. That's one big problem. Being creative takes a long time. Who's got time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that, as they say. Yeah, that's a problem. It's not pulling. Well, I'm doing all these posts and nobody seems to be reaching out to me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a reason for that. So the fail, low authority, low positioning, low organic movement sucks. So then you stop. Social media doesn't work. Truth is, it does massively. Facebook's ideal target demographic is almost identical to the ideal target demographic of a residential cleaning service. 35 to 55-year-old college and university educated, skewed 80% towards women who work outside of the home in corporate, medical, or own their own business, and have high discretionary income. With 1.3 kids or whatever the number is now and a pet, right? And a husband. That's the ideal client to grab onto and hold on like a wiggly fish for the next 10, 20 years, right? From the time they're 35 till the time they're, 55, 65, right? And don't need you as much. That is the ideal client. You have to market to get them, market to keep them at all times. And social media is one of those things. We can attract them that way, right? So winning in 2025-6 with smarter social media is what our goal is going to be, right? The hardest part is creating the content, right? It would be great if we could just go, outsource it or, chat GPT it and not have it look dumb. But the reality is the more we take the human element out of it, the more we create the problems, right? So everybody knows, it used to be you could put a 10,000 spam backlinks to your website and would rank. You could hide a whole bunch of keywords on the bottom of the page in the same color as the background, like white background, white keywords, and Google would rank your pages. That was 30 years ago. It don't work no more, right? 25 years ago. Doesn't work no more. You could write, when ChatGPT first showed up, And before that, tools like Jarvis, Jasper, they renamed themselves to AI content writing. Yeah, you could write a blog post a week or a day automatically, spit out some dribble. And the search engine hadn't caught up yet. Now they know. Now again, AI should be the tractor. You're the farmer. So the hardest part is creating content, right? You want to make sure that content flows, tells a story. Donald Miller's Story Brand, another great book to read or listen to while you're driving around. Again, audiobooks I love. But yeah, you want to make sure that the content flows in a predictable way, shows up. Most people don't scroll down 20 times. Some people say, hey, I've seen, we post for some of our clients. We have posting sets that keep it active. We have some very personalized posts around blogs and press releases and things like that, and happy customer stories. And then we teach them how to do very personalized stuff around the office or charities that they're, involved in once a week, once a month, whatever. Here's how you complement, fill your part in, right? And I've had people going, hey, John, I've seen that post on our social media like a year and a half ago. Why are you using it again? And it's like, how many of your customers are scrolling back a year and a half? When's the last time you scrolled back a year and a half on anybody's social media? There's a point at which you can actually have activity-based things recycle. How you take care of your dog and make sure that you don't have toxins in your home and toxic things around the house, just as a helpful tip, because our clients have pets, children, interested in healthy green living and indoor air qualities and things like that. We can talk about those. And again, just not every day, right? But if, again, most people only scroll 2 or 3 times to get an idea. So when they're on your social media page, they're scrolling a little bit, not a lot, right? So yeah, we want to make sure the content flows. We want to be able to paint by numbers. We want to be able to not have to go, oh my God, I have no idea what to post today, let alone next week, let alone for the next month, right? We want to be able to paint by numbers so that it's just easy. We get it. It fits a pattern. And we want to be prolific. We want to be seen everywhere, not just Facebook. Instagram is the new place where for image gallery should be, right? Your image gallery isn't on your website. Your image gallery is Instagram. That's what it was built for. But you want to also do reels now and stuff like that. Well, now you're doing reels. Well, why not put them on TikTok? That works. And shorts and reels can now go on your YouTube channel as well, right? So what are you going to do in those shorts and reels? Let me show you, right? But you want to be prolific so that you're telling people, you're advising them, you're educating them, you're creating your authority, all that kind of stuff. Some of it video, some of it image content, all of that kind of stuff, right? So there's a way to do this because you know more about your craft and cleaning and healthy homes than the average homeowner does. So you're the expert to them. Show them that. So success, you want to lead the market, get new customers coming in to you regularly that you can turn into clients. Customer one time, client long term. Your whole goal in business is to be the marketer of the services, market and chief promoter of the services you do, turn customers into long-term clients. Do that right, understand that, and you will grow faster than 99% of your competitors. And the other guy that's doing it as well as you guys go out for dinner once a month and talk shop because you guys are taking over the whole marketplace and everybody else is going out of business, and that's an okay thing too. Right? So it's okay to be in that world. So you want to go from static pages to smart adaptive experiences. You want posts to basically engage with your community. You don't want to just, we got a deal, got an offer, got a deal, got an offer. That's tone deaf. Sorry. That's a very small part of how you engage with people, right? If your ideal customer should be a discount shopper, you're going to be one guy in a truck, 2 guys in a truck forever. Your ideal customer, the discount shopper, is running out of money, right? They never had to get a lot of money to start with. They're running out of money. You want to make sure you're engaged in the community that you want to be part of, right? Your ideal customer avatar, you're targeting them with your messages. If you show on your website disgustingly black hallway that turned very nice and clean because you're amazed at how well you clean, right? On your website, on your residential carpet cleaning page, absolutely know that every really wealthy person that cleans clean carpet, they don't wait till it gets dirty. They clean it, maintain it, looks at that and goes, I don't know if these guys work in houses like mine. That's the thought in their head. You just painted it for them. If on your website you show your van parked in front of high-end homes and and that kind of thing, and the picture you took of your cleaning upholstery is like a $20,000 designer piece of upholstery and stuff like that, because that's the homes you're in. Other people like that see that in your social media and your marketing, right? You want to show up consistently so your brand stays top of mind. You have to be top of mind that when AI eventually suggests you, if you got all that part right, and you and four other people, and they go, no, I know these guys, ABC Carpet Cleaning. Yep, I'll call them. Thanks. You're on the list. They remember because they went to AI and said, Chad, I got a dog and the dog peed on the carpet and I don't want to run a machine. And I've kind of called somebody before and they were kind of cheap and did a really quick job and didn't really do much. I don't want to spend the most either. I know nothing about methods. Who should I call? That is now the new search instead of carpet cleaner near me. And people like me have to figure out how to get you to rank for those kinds of things, right? On AI and still rank in search, right? So visibility and credibility equals profitability. Really key point. You got to be visible and you got to be seen as credible. Both of those you can have happen with social media. People buy from brands they see and trust most often. You got to be the best local brand. You got to be the best known cleaner. To 2025 and beyond, that trust is built through authentic, educational, and local focused content. Algorithms favor activity. Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok now amplifies brands that engage actively and get real interactions. So again, when you post on your Facebook page, nobody's going to see it. I don't care if you got 20 followers or you got 200 followers or 2,000 followers on your Facebook page. Facebook's edge rank says, you're a business. We don't care about you. We're not going to show very many people anything. So there's something you have to do to turn that corner. Now, it doesn't mean your Facebook page is useless, because if you're running good Facebook ads and you're running good Facebook outreach and LinkedIn and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, if you're doing it well, then people will click to see who posted this and be back on your page. And that's when your page influences them. Then they'll message you. Then they'll go to your website, right? The page should influence them. If the last thing they see, if they see a big cover graphic of a dirty carpet, that's a problem. You can use that whole entire cover graphic to send a message about why you're better and who your ideal customer is. Or you can not use that huge marketing space available at the top of every single one of these platforms, right? And then you're going to, all the way down, you're going to want something posted today, something posted yesterday, something posted. You're going to want a featured post of a happy customer story. You're going to want to have video. Like, there's a way to do this, right? You want to make sure that the consistency tells both humans and AI that your business is relevant, reputable, and reliable. There's a way to do that. You want to be beyond, be the brand that everyone thinks of first. Who should you call? Your name should come up. Best known cleaner, not just another cleaning company in the marketplace, right? As Grant Cardone says, best known beats best all the time. You could be the very best carpet cleaning company and the very best carpet cleaning technician that you've ever known in your life, or at least in your local marketplace. That guy's a hack. I know so much more than that guy. That's great. That guy might still be busier than you and have 10 trucks on the road because he's not the very best. He's very, very competent, more than good enough, but he's the best marketer. So podcast just came out recently with Robert Yokel. Good interview. There's a guy that understands he is the best marketer of cleaning services in Colorado Springs. That's why he's 5-6 million a year in a town of 500,000 people. Good interview. Anyways, so why do you want this? Hopefully I've kind of impacted why you want this, but you want all of that because that's where your ideal people are, and people are social. Do you want to run Facebook ads to land customers? I say that's the secondary reason. Now you want it to pay for itself. You don't want to be out of pocket necessarily, but Facebook, Instagram, these tools, think of them as the new every single door mail, flyers. Think of it as posts or billboards on the side of the highway, and all of that, all that kind of stuff, right? So you're the back of buses and billboards in the right neighborhood. Social media gets your brand and your message in front of the right people. That message does not have to be deals and discounts. They didn't go there to find a cleaning company today, but you can impress upon them over and over and over again that when they click your ad, they find your website, it all ties together. They see your flyer or your door hanger or your yard sign or your whatever. It all tied together because you've been in front of them well enough in the place they are every day for hours, and you're going to try and get in front of them. So post daily with curated content, post regularly with personalized content, right? That's the rule. A bit of both. Some curated content we talked about what they're interested in, not what you're interested in. You might be interested in how to get a red wine stain out and how to do this. No, they're interested in their kids, their pets, healthy living, pride in their home. So that's some content you should be doing to stay active. And then personalized content should be your authority pieces. So why social media recipe is critical, especially in an AI-powered era. So you want to make sure that you're posting the right mix of things that when they scroll down, when they get to your social media page, all that kind of stuff, it feels right. It gives the right feeling that oh my God, these guys get it. Right? So what does that look like? Well, we formulated a recipe years ago. Not just me, but a whole bunch of very, very, very brilliant SEO, social media companies that get together. Being part of a mastermind is something everybody should do. Part of a mastermind when I was in the cleaning world, part of a mastermind while I'm in the digital marketing world as well. We learn from each other, and sharpen our saws and all that kind of stuff. So what you really want to do is you want to have recreational content, right? Holidays, throwbacks, jokes, funny stuff semi-related to what the customer is interested in. Not necessarily your industry, but what the customer is interested in, right? And you want, for every 6 of those in a social media content strategy, you want 5 educational, right? Recreational, that's funny, right? Little memes, stuff like that. Educational, facts, trivia, trends, tips, tricks, case studies, things like that. For every 5 of those, you want 4 conversational. You want fill in the blanks, this versus that, polls, surveys, that kind of stuff. You want conversational. For every 4 of those, you want 3 inspirational. Every now and then, you want to have the quote of the day. You want to have some before and afters. Again, rather have them as happy customer stories than just before and after pictures, but you can have those. And again, who is your ideal client? Don't be showing disgusting, dirty stuff if your ideal client isn't disgusting and dirty. If that's not the type of jobs you want. If you want to go clean really difficult jobs and put down all of your, Sager sauces and everything else like that to scrub through it and use your zippers and all that kind of stuff, cool, go nuts. I loved cleaning clean homes. My technicians loved cleaning clean homes. They loved getting $100 and $200 tips from an $800,000, $2,000 job. Don't get that from dirty, disgusting carpets. So, promotional, then for, again, 6, 5, 4, 3. So we're at 11, 15, 16, 18 right now. After 18 posts, you now have the okay to provide an offer. Sounds counterintuitive, but you're building your trust authority before you're saying, oh, by the way, now would you like to try us out? Right? And then entrepreneurial behind the scenes stuff. You want to add in, your mission, your vision for your life, for your community, all that kind of stuff, right? So you want to, some behind the scenes stuff. Here's the technicians loading up this morning. Say, hi, Tommy. Hi. Right? All that kind of stuff, right? So you want to do all of that. So you do that well, and you keep everything going, right? So the top part of this is the activity part, right? And the bottom part of that is the personal part, just like we talked about. Activity, personal. There's your recipe. Pretty simple. The 5 key principles of easy or personalized content. So the first part of it, the activity based, we provide that for our clients outside of a personal social media plan. Understand that a personal social media plan by anybody doing personal social media, reaching out, doing all that, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month, because you've got an advisor working on your behalf 2, 3, 4 hours a day. I don't recommend that in carpet cleaning for most businesses. Maybe if you had a couple million a year, you can train up somebody in the office to do that, or you could hand it off to somebody, who goes and finds social influencers and all that kind of stuff in your local marketplace. That there's a whole bunch of strategies around that, and find social media influencers and private groups and stuff like that on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all that stuff. Sure. But ultimately what you want to be able to do is have some activity-based content to keep the lights on, keep the algorithm going, be, in the realm of what your customers are interested in, and then add in the personal stuff. Once a week, once a day, add it in. So here's how we do that. You want to come up with topics in advance. You don't want to have to go today, I have no idea what to post today. You want to shoot videos. Video is better than written content, but a bit of both, right? But you want to shoot the videos that you do, they're easier. You just grab your phone. We all have this $1,000, computer machine, really advanced piece of technology, more advanced than all of the computers used to get us to the moon. If we went to the moon back in the 60s, right? 68 and beyond, in our pockets nowadays, right? We are tethered to that. We have artificial intelligence in our pocket. Just wait till we get Neuralink and we have it in our brain, right? So we want to use that tool with a great camera and create content. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's super, super easy. Everybody hates doing content at first until they do it 10, 15 times, and it becomes super easy. Everybody. You want to have a framework so that you freestyle, but within a framework. So you're following a pattern that gets into human psychology's head. Everything in life is a framework. Really understand that. It's one of those mysteries that you can understand in your teens. You can finally figure out in your 20s. Maybe it takes till your 50s, but understand that success in any area of life, how we raise our kids, how we interact with our spouses, how we interact with our community, how we personally develop, how we run our business, our marketing, think through challenges, all are done best when you have a framework to do that in. So Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time, really smart fellow, talks about his 1-3-1 framework for managing employees, his 10-80-10 framework. Alex Hormozy, a big marketer who learned from Dan Kennedy and all these guys, and Russell Brunson, all that kind of stuff, who now is the marketer of our generation for the younger crowd. Alex Hormozy is just framework after framework after framework. He's just a master of thinking of everything in frameworks. That's why he's so successful. Everything falls into a framework. You fix it with a framework, right? So you want to freestyle with a framework. You want to amplify your reach. You want to make sure the one thing you did goes everywhere. Anytime you talk into a phone, guess what you just did? You created a transcript, you created content. You can take that and write an article about that or write posts about that easily, especially nowadays. It used to be a little bit more difficult, but now you can do it inside a tool like ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude, I'm Canadian, Claude. Any of those tools, you can teach all of those tools with this stuff, right? So, and you want to teach them with your brand voice. You want to tell them your story. You want to have it know your history first. It's called a master prompt. Usually anywhere from 3 to 20 pages of everything about you, so that now every time you write content, it might say, yeah, that reminds me of when, my dog died when I was 9 years old, blah, blah, right? Because that's all part of your story. Or you started your business because of this and that. Every blog post, every piece of content can be sort of refined against the ideal you, right? So that it is personalized. Because again, AI is able to detect AI crap. When you train it and then put a human at the end to read through, adjust, edit, and release, you are now using it as the tractor and you're still the farmer. And you want to remove yourself from posting. You want to not have to remember to post every single day. You want to do things in batches. You want to set them up. You want to schedule. So understand this. John, my content is not getting a lot of likes and shares and stuff like that. It's useless. You got to understand the 9-1-90 rule from Content Rules, book from years ago, right? Still qualifies today, even in the AI era. 90% of people on social media are lurking. They're seeing your stuff. They're just not telling you. Only 10% contribute. What does that contribute mean? They make a comment. They like, they share. 10%. 90% are just consuming. Only 1% are the creators. You need to be the creator. We are Gary Vaynerchuk said this at least a decade or two ago. I don't even know how long, I'm trying to remember when the first book of Gary Vaynerchuk I read. And back then he said every small business is a content creator nowadays. He was right then. He's more right now. Right? We are content creators. We need to share happy customer stories. We need to share behind the scenes stories. We need to share helpful tips. We need to educate. Joe Polish told us, he learned from Dan Kennedy 30 years ago with Piranha Marketing that you need to educate your customers. Education-based marketing works better than deal and offer-based marketing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? So anyways, you want to be that content creator. So 65% of all Facebook video views come from mobile. So it's got to be mobile ready. Do it in the mobile format, the your portrait format. 85% of Facebook users watch video with the sound off. Have captions. There's so many tools nowadays. Captions app. I'm going to show you another app that works really well that you can record and put the captions right on right away. Right? Have captions so that when they don't have the audio on, it's still visible. And most people only watch 10 seconds or less. Guess where your big message should be, right? So keep the content in bite-sized chunks, 3 minutes or less. If you want to be shorts and reels, some of the platforms you have to be under a minute. Some of them are extending that a little bit, but so you just want to keep an eye on what platform and how long it is. YouTube shorts have to be under a minute. After that, it's not considered a short. So you want your content to be, maybe you could take a longer piece of educational content and have it split into 3 sections so they can all 3 be shorts, part 1, part 2, part 3. So one piece of content, multiple purposes. That's called syndicating, right? You don't want to hit the same key. You don't want to say the same thing. Here's our deal. Here's our promotion. Here's our deal. Here's our promotion. Here's our deal. Here's our promotion, right? That people are going, I'm done with this guy, right? That's not your thing. You don't want to be, all about pets, right? One key. You want to make sure that you are making music, playing multiple keys, telling a story, creating an environment. And you want to be able to repurpose everything so that you don't have to constantly come up with new stuff. So you want to work smarter, not harder. One great post can fuel dozens of smaller pieces across all platforms. One great blog article, we write blog articles weekly for our clients. Then we syndicate them out onto all kinds of platforms, multiple times. Because in that 1,500, 2,000 word, expertly written, curated, human reviewed, human edited blog article that's designed to be picked up by AI. So it's got the AI FAQs built into it and structured content, stuff like that, but also readable by the human and also personalized about the business owners that we're writing about. We take that one piece of content every single week. Some of our clients get 2 and 3 and 4 pieces of content a week because they're in heavy markets and big companies. Again, if you're doing 5 million a year, you definitely need more than one piece of content a week to stay relevant and stay top of mind everywhere, and teach the AIs, teach the algorithms and the old SEO systems that are still around who you are, right? But that one piece of content now needs to be syndicated across 5, 6, 7 major platforms, maybe a dozen citation and directory sources in little bite-sized chunks, so that one piece of content might have 5, 6, 7 small points that can be pulled out. Back in the day, you'd have to go, oh my God, what are my 5, 6, 7 points? An hour later, you got them figured out. Nowadays, throw the article into ChatGPT and say, come up with 5 to 7 really smart points out of this article that could be broken down into very tiny, small social media snippets. And you're going to put a link back to the article with those snippets or something like that, right? You want to start with core idea or video, then slice it. You want to, from one to many. A 2-minute video tip becomes reels, stories, quotes, snippets, blog post, YouTube shorts, all of it. You come up with a great idea, talk it into your phone. Even if you don't ever plan to send it out, talk it into your phone and then break it down. Consistency grows when you repurpose instead of reinventing every week. Stay visible everywhere. Reposting in new formats keeps your message fresh. AI algorithms reward active multi-channel visibility. AI does not look at Google on its own, barely looks at Google reviews. The AI looks for authority all over the internet. Why? Because AI is an assistant. Think of AI as a college intern, 21-year-old, blonde, bubbly, ponytail, lovely person, absolutely smart as a whip, never been in business before. And you say, hey, Sally, I need to get new tires on our vans, winter tires. Winter's coming. We need all new winter tires. Didn't like the tire shop we used last time. They didn't, kind of bad service, bad everything else. Find me somebody else. Okay. Does she go out to Google it? 21 years old. She Reddits. She goes to TikTok. She goes to all of, she checks around. She asks friends on social media. Like, we see them. We know what they're, right? They're checking everywhere. They might check Google. They might check a website here and there, but they're just finding out and who is in the marketplace, who has got good stories, who's active, all that kind of stuff. That's who's going to be shown first, right? They check around all of those sources and then come back with some suggestions. right? I suggest this, this, or this. Here's my reasons why. If you go, oh, I know that one, because the offline and online marketing is omnipresent, that's who you pick, right? So AI is that person. Think of it that way. So AI algorithm reward all of that. And your goal is to build a simple repurpose workflow, right? So you want to be able to share your expertise. So here's examples of guys. We've all seen these. You guys go online and see that. Here's somebody sharing their expertise. You're not going to be able to hear this, I think. Oh, let's get past the... Sorry, let's get past that. Okay, now we're in the end.
Hey everybody,
Mark Sager. Right? So he's got some VCT wax floor. He's got some tile and grout. He's talking all about it. He's showing how he cleans it. Right? He's not even in the video. If you're shy, you're just talking. He's talking through. It's only 2 minutes long. Right? And he's sharing out tile and grout cleaning with wax residue. Right? Promoting his business, sharing it out on YouTube. You can cut that up into shorts and reels, put that on a whole bunch of other platforms. Again, YouTube likes for longer form content wide. Short form content, you want it portrait, but you can do some of those things. Here's another one. This one's got a couple million views. Hey, Devron. All right, they just took a video of this really disgusting carpet. Again, not that's a neat video, not necessarily the ideal customer avatar who's got a living room that looks like that. Looks like somebody did an oil change on their motorcycle in that living room on a repeated basis, whatever that is. But again, a couple million views because of the way it was promoted and stuff like that. And they're just using their RX20 and look at that. Beautiful, beautiful results. You get the idea. Before and afters, how-tos, things like that. You want to share your expertise. In the video, outside of the video, there's ways to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. Make it easy. Oops. Then we've got on-the-job videos, right? So things like this. Here's an example.
Hey guys, David here with Texas Select Construction. We're at first day on our new project, First United Methodist Church.
Right. So this is a different company. This isn't carpet cleaning right now, but on the job doing a roof. And this is just a roofing guy, right? They're just talking about things they've ran into on the job, right? What they're planning for. That's really cool. That gives other people, this guy seems like an expert. He knows what he's doing. Maybe I should hire these guys, right? How to spot a shady roofer. There's an education piece.
Roofer shows up and he's got a magnet on the side of his truck.
Roofer shows up and he's got a magnet on the side of the truck. That's the first no-no. Hopefully you don't have a magnet on the side of your carpet cleaning truck, obviously. But this guy teaches educational content. You actually go to their, let's go take a look at it, see if that opens up. Let's bring it over here. It wants me to log in. Oh, there he goes, right? So there's that roofer, right? So let's go to his channel. If it lets me to go to his channel, it's not going to let me. Hundreds and, oh, there we go. At least some of them here. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, on the job videos, all about him, stuff like that, right? So this is, you guys can go look them up. Master Roofers in Memphis, Master Roofing in Memphis. Go look him up, right? Does a great job. Great job. And posts all the time. Really well known in his marketplace because of that, right? So that's kind of idea of how to do that. Let me make sure I didn't skip a slide there. No, I didn't. Okay. All right. So here's how it's done. Let's figure this out quickly. You want to have a monthly plan, right? You want to have content. So again, you've got your activity-based content rolling out all the time. And behind the scenes, you want to have, maybe these are your videos, maybe video, story, happy customer story, share it out, things like that. But right, you want to show before and after a recent project. That could be an image, better as a video, could be a talk through, whatever. You want to tell your origin story, why you started your business, your founder story, teach on a topic, motivate, share favorite mantra, quotes, and stuff like that you run your business and your life by. Be the expert, show a tool that solves a particular problem, like, and, right? So you want to have a plan so that you know on any given day what you're going to do. And you can just recycle this plan every month. There's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You might say, you know what, John, I want to start with 2 videos a week. Oh yeah, start with that and that. Without, figure it out, right? So you want to be able to build a plan and get better at it. Record the video is probably the best way to do it, even if you're going to turn it into written content. But I would suggest the video and the written and all of it is going to be helpful. And there's your personalized part of it, right? So your recipe. This is your P&E at the recipe part. You still want the activity going out, but now you're going to add in your personality, right? So you want to market your reputation. You want to have your Facebook or your Google, your Instagram, or Yelp, and Judy's book and Angie's list, and All the other reviews that you have, you want to make sure that you market those on all your social platforms as well. They don't sit on a place that maybe the customer never went to. Not everybody goes to Google. I got people, John, everybody goes to Google. Well, the stats are they don't, just so you know. 75% of the people looking for going online to look for cleaning services don't have a name in mind. 25% already have a name in mind. The ones that have a name in mind might go to Google to search it. If they got a name in mind, they can go anywhere else. They just need to find your phone number, right? They just type it in, they get the phone number, done, right? The 75% that don't, of those, only 60% go to Google. 40% go everywhere else. They ask, then buy, right? So 70%, 60% of that is 60% of 70 is 35% of the original crowd. So most people don't go to Google, just so you know. So you want to make sure that you're syndicating and sharing out, and social media is a good place for that as well. But so you got your topics, right? So in the old world, I would have given you this chart and said, hey, this is what you need to do. Take a screenshot, download it, start doing it. In the new world, our company builds AI agents, AI command centers, AI workflows. We're using AI to help do more for less for our clients and to do deep research and stuff like that. And done well, I also run the AI Marketing Experts podcast every Friday with 4 other really brilliant marketers that do all this stuff. But what I wanted to show you is that there's prompts for this. So we go, let me open that up. All right, here's your social media planner. Here's the prompt in what they call the CRIT framework. So the CRIT framework is the context. This is by Jeff Woods, AI-Driven Leadership, really great book to listen to or read. Context, role, interview, and task. If you format your prompts, there's the prompt right there. This prompt right here, put in, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions. That's the interview part. You just copy and paste the whole prompt in. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions, right? And then it's going to give you that layout in what we call the best known cleaner story version, right? So it's going to give you a 5-day a week 1, 2, 3, 4, content plan. That's pretty cool, right? So, so a prompt like this in ChatGPT or your favorite LLM, large language model, Claude, Perplexity, whatever, is going to help get you the framework of what you should post. And then we even got a couple of special little things at the bottom here, where you can copy any daily prompt that ChatGPT gives you from here. It's going to give you the data and write 3 social media post ideas and caption drafts for this topic. Use my brand, tone, and voice, right? So it needs to know your brand, tone, and voice. So you can reach out to us and ask us for a copy of this. Ideally, our clients get copies of this. We do a lot of this for our clients, but this is helpful as well to understand that there is a easy button to make this available. Join our AI powered marketing secrets Facebook group. Join our Facebook group. AI Marketing Secrets for Carpet Cleaners, and this is available in there as well for members that way. So, a bunch of different ways to get this, but that's the point. You want to be able to use AI properly to make your job a little bit easier. Then you want to be able to use a framework, back to the framework we talked about, to tell the story in a way that people get. Right? You're tapping into the human condition. We all sat around fires. We all told stories. The Bible's a story. Everything's a story. We learn from stories. The best books to read, like, again, the E-Myth Revisited, Built to Sell, like all these books, right? They're all stories. If you want to learn how to implement EOS, the Entrepreneur Operating System, Get a Grip is the first book to read. Traction Sucks. It's a great book. It's got all the nuts and bolts. It's a study guide. It's a university guide. Get a Grip is the story of implementing the Gino Wickman's EOS Entrepreneur Operating System, where you have quarterly sprints and weekly L10 meetings. And we run our company on EOS. But as you grow your company, you should be looking at an operating system like that. Again, marketing done well causes operations problems because you're growing too fast. You solve operations problems as you grow, including things like executive management systems and stuff like that. You learn them. I didn't know them. I was a carpet cleaner. I was a kid. I had to learn them, had to put them in place. When I didn't, company didn't run as well. As soon as I did, boom, next major growth. You learn what you don't know and you carry on. That's the job we got into, is owning businesses. So you want to have a promise, branding, seed, topic, training, call to action, and sign off. What does that mean? So here's an example. On this video, I'll share how to determine the cost of carpet cleaning in your city. Hi, this is John Clendenning with Mighty Cleaning Systems. This is one of the most common questions we get from homeowners. Let's talk about what goes into the cost of a typical cleaning. The type of carpet, spot cleaning, urine cleaning, area rug cleaning, materials that are used. That should all give you a range of, from a couple $100 to maybe a couple thousand, depending on the size of your home and stuff like that. If you would like to receive a detailed estimate on whole house carpet cleaning, please visit our website at johnscleaning.com and schedule your free estimate. Thanks for joining me on this quick video. I'll talk to you later. Stand in front of your van, do that. Super easy, right? So, how do you get these scripts? Interestingly, tab 2, there's the prompt to take any one of the points and turn it into this 6 format for creating that. So there's the output: promise, brand, seed, topic, call to action, sign off, right? And it includes examples. That example right there that I gave you, it includes, so it shows, here's the format sample I want you to do, right? It's going to ask you a bunch of questions first. So you're going to pick the topic, you're going to put this in, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, you answer those questions, it's going to spit out a video example. So now you can, again, freestyle, but with a framework. One of the best ways to do that is use a tool like BigView. So I told you I was going to say, there's the caption app. You can take any video and add captions to it. It listens to it and puts AI captions on it. BigView is even better. BigView allows you to see what you want to say as it's taking a selfie video. So you press record and you upload your script and it scrolls. It's a teleprompter, right? So I'm trying to remember, I use a couple different teleprompter scripts. I'm pretty sure BigView also listens. It's one of the ones that listen on the premium plan. And if you go off script, it'll pause until you come back and then carry on. So if you just want to freewheel it and you got a couple other things you want to say that weren't on the script, totally fine, right? And it will listen and it'll just scroll. And then you can also adjust the scroll speed if you're just doing it straight. And then it uploads into the BigView app on your phone, which is also accessible on the website. And then you just add it to say, build my transcript. Cool. Now you can take the transcript and create all kinds of content, social posts and different things and blog posts and stuff like that. And then say, put captions on it for me. And you can even post right from BigView, or you can just download it and put it into your posting queue, right? I recommend putting it into your posting queue, right? So you just create a library of these. So video exercise would be to just start recording one. Just create your framework, create your first framework, based on that framework that we saw. Come back to this, pause the screen. If you're listening to this on Spotify or any of the podcasts, go to YouTube, find this video, and go through the video version of it then. So you can pause the screen and see that script I showed you and that kind of stuff, because you want to be able to so you want to pick 3 topics, shoot 3 videos, 2 to 3 minutes each at the most. Smartphone is best. Webcam, you can do it on your webcam like I'm doing here. Don't overthink it. Just lay it out and go. Right? You can be sitting in your office and do it. Right? So it doesn't really matter. Just have a webcam and have a bit of a script. The cool thing about BigView as well is it'll actually adjust your eyes. If you're looking down, it will use AI to make your eyes look like you're looking at the camera. It's one of the options that are available in the back end as well. So I drink my own Kool-Aid. You can go to our Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters Instagram. You can see the mix of content we do. You can see me repurposing webinars I'm on and interviews I'm on. You can see the team using a little bit of AI to create some stories about all from the other content that we've done. We actually even have our AI Carrie, which is Carrie for Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, and she has the marketing minute, right? So AI avatar we built, who takes some of our best topics and content and just shares out a quick little video, education video of really good content and stuff that I teach on and train on. Carrie is presenting as well. So Carrie shows up right here once every week or so, I think is what we've got her running on. And then you can even see on our YouTube channel, right? There's all the right there's our header graphic. So it's not just like, again, if this was carpet cleaning, that would be a story and who you are and your team and your van, right? You want to use all of the assets available to you. You want to have your shorts and your reels and your videos and stuff like that, right? So we can help with all that and talk about that. But then what you want to do, the next thing you want to do is you want to set up, if you're doing this yourself and not working with a growth partner or an agency, you want to set up the automation so that it goes out. So Sendables, Social Pilot, Sprout Social, Plannable, Meet Edgar. These are all tools where you can set up a month worth of content at a time. So you can record in batches, like we said, send it out or schedule it out, and just know that maybe 2 weeks before you run out of content, do the next batch. Eventually, you can start going, which pieces of content are evergreen that I can cycle back in every 3, 4, 5 months, because it's not the same people watching it. It's not the same people watching it. They don't see everything you do. Just because you see every time Aunt Martha ate dinner and took a picture of it or whatever, doesn't mean that the people following your social media channels see every single post. You can repurpose and reuse, just not tomorrow, right? So think of that through. So next steps, customize your content plan. Block the day and time that you will shoot. Do it once a week in a batch for an hour and be done, right? It's important. Do the video first. Use the transcript to make the rest of the content. Use AI as your tractor. You're the farmer. Set up your syndications. You want to make sure your authenticity meets AI. So let AI do the heavy lifting, add your heart. Use AI tools for ideas, outline the captions like the prompts that we provided, but keep your real voice. AI helps you save time. You provide the human touch. Authenticity wins attention. Share real stories, real faces. Your website should never be people like stock photos. Neither should your social. Really, your authentic content that you're putting in. Again, that recipe. Could your activity-based content be photos and images and things like that are related to dogs and children and pets? And yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Should your PE on the recipe, your personal and your entrepreneurial behind the scenes stuff, should that be real faces? Absolutely. Right. You want that mix. You want to show people behind the brand, real posts, trust. The winning formula, AI for speed, you for soul. You want to stop the scroll. In fact, there's a paid ad strategy around this that we expertly use that is not about trying to get thousands of, or run discount ads, to generate leads. I need more leads. Nobody needs more leads. To be honest, you can grow a great cleaning business. One of our clients, Tony, as an example, his first 90 days in business, he did $150,000 worth of sales. Did over $500,000 last year in his first full year in business, right? Didn't need more leads. He built those himself. He needed a strategy and a growth system in place, right? There's ways to do that. There is grassroots marketing that has always worked. How did I get to $10,000 a month in sales in the first 12 months of my business in 1995 in a town of 30,000 people as a shy kid that didn't know anybody? How did I do that, right? I didn't go, the internet wasn't around yet. I didn't have a yellow page book. How did I get leads? I didn't go after leads at all. I built a business and I was out of the truck in a year and a half, right? So Tony beat me. I don't think he was ever in the truck. His first 3 months, he had 2 technicians on the road and off he went. But yeah, there's paid ad strategies that help build your brand, that help build your local authority and stuff like that. That's the way to use social media. I know guys that were doing as much as $20,000 a month running Facebook ads. Hi, I'm doing something crazy, blah, 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 blah. You've all seen those ads. And as soon as competitors came in the market and the whole Facebook system kind of crapped the bed a little bit, $20,000 a month to almost bankrupt. Why? They never built customers. or clients. They built one-time transactional customers, and as soon as that dried up, they had nothing because they had all discount shoppers that won't come back unless you give them a better deal. You were 99 this time. There's another guy that's 89. I'm going to go with the $89 guy. Why? Because they're discount shoppers. You marketed on price. They bought on price. Now you have to sell on price. That's silly, right? Anyways, your goal, let AI support your process, not replace your personality. That's the thing. So wrapping it up, we did pretty good today. So we're at about 75 minutes in. So use social media the right way to become the top local brand. Use the recipe and why it's now critical. Hopefully I was able to explain why it's critical. The repurpose engine, turn one update into weeks of viral content. It's just a thought process. You can go back and forth and have a chat with your favorite chat GPT or the new Grok companions. They're hilarious. Go have a conversation with one of your AI friends. It should be taught on a master prompt of your company. And there's lots of kind of cool things like that. If you don't know what any of that is, reach out to us. That's what we do expertly for a living. I'm just a carpet cleaner that figured this out, just so you guys know, right? And blend authentic posts and AI enhanced creativity, right? So work the system. So what are your takeaways? We do this every single time. I've run training courses. One of the things I got flown around the world to teach 3-day elite retreats and stuff like that is how to implement stuff. Ideas are a dime a dozen. Ideas are meaningless. It's how you implement them and how quickly you implement them, right? Marketing is your business. You want to implement marketing ideas right away, right? If you don't execute, it didn't exist. So commit to one major marketing shift this week. How are you going to put this in? What are the top 3 social media initiatives that you need to do right now to meet the end of year goals, right? We got November, December left, and your 2026 goals that you're going to plan and set up the week between Christmas and New Year's. Hopefully you'll join me for the planning sessions that we do on these master classes as well. But you want to take immediate action on something or it won't happen, right? There's a whole training on how to implement things that we do in our coaching. What's our coaching all about? Blueprint for success. There is a foundation that you need. Without it, nothing happens. Then you have 3 different businesses: before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale. It's an exact blueprint. You build your lead and inquiry sources. You build your brand positioning in the marketplace. You take your foundation and you use it everywhere. And you build your referral partners and you build your lead nurture database for the people that didn't book right away. Half the people don't book right away. 1 out of 5 people will click through from a pay-per-click ad to call you. The other 4 out of 5 needs to be marketed to. Even if they go with the other guy right now, marketed to eventually they go, you know what? I think I want these guys instead of that guy. You want to have your referral partners. You want to have your, again, 10, 20, 30, 40 poles in the water. You want to stack how you're getting more and more customers. That's the only way to grow. You are the marketer and promotion, master promoter of your cleaning services first and foremost, everything second. You want to then be able to, from the moment they reach out to you, to the moment you go, bye, ma'am, see you next time, your technician does that. That is your service delivery business. You want to wow the crap out of them at every stage. You're not having AI answer the phones. You're having real people. You're wowing them. AI can be the tractor. It can help out if it's after hours or if it's, you're really, really busy. It's not your first line of defense. There is no easy button that way where you just sit back, watch Netflix, eat Cheetos, and something else is, running your entire business. No, we got into this for a reason. Most businesses fail for a reason. They think it's too easy. You have to work it. It just happens to be a blueprint. Without it, you'll never make it to $1 million. That's why it's 0.003, or even to $500,000. With pieces of the blueprint, understandings you might have picked up here and there, you'll piece it together over time, or you learn the whole thing and do it in the next year or 2, 3 years, 5 years and out, right? That's all doable with the right plan. So you want to make sure you're marketing from the moment somebody books a job, a cleaning or a quote. You want to make sure you have scripts that are proven to sell more people, that you're not the one saying them. Somebody else is answering the phones and saying them, but you know that their booking percentage on cold inquiries is well north of 50%, 60%, because they've got scripts and they know how to objection handle and all of that. That's all training. That's all operations. Marketing creates operation problems. And you want to make sure you market the inquiry, the new customer, from the time they book the time you show up, because you don't want that booking remorse where they call somebody else and cancel the job. How do you prevent cancellations? You market between the booking date and the time you show up with how amazing it's going to be. And there's a right way to do that. Then you show up the right way. Show up for success, we call it. And then you deliver a client experience the right way. And then you exit the right way. Right? So we call it, the walk of fame at the end of the job. You want to show people and indoctrinate them into repeating and referring based on the way you exit the job. All of this has to be thought through. There's a reason why franchises like McDonald's can have a 14-year-old kid that can't even make a grilled cheese sandwich, for dinner on his own, and Mom, I'm starved, I couldn't make dinner, can somehow make meals for families. How's that same kid do that over there and can't do it over here? Well, it's because it's systems and process and routines. Our technicians need all of those. We have to deliver the right customer experience. We know when we walk into a business that has the right training and the right experience versus when we walk into a business that's managed poorly. The difference is the employees know how to be on stage, even if they're miserable, in the background, even if their boyfriend, girlfriend just broke up with them and blah, 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 blah. Hey, how's it going? Great to have you here. Great. What kind of cell phones are you looking to buy today? What kind of the right person has been trained right. They've been managed right. That's ops. You put all that in place, and now you have to follow up relentlessly. Dan Kennedy, build a fence around people, your ideal clients, so that once you land them as a customer once, you're going to make the maximum amount of dollars. If you knew you're going to make $20,000 over the lifetime value of half of your clients, the other of customers, the other half maybe show up once or twice and move out of the area, do whatever. But if you can run your database numbers and know that you're going to make $20,000 over the lifetime value of your customers, your clients, how much would you pay to land them? Would you care? Would you go, well, I'm not paying more than $20 for a lead. I'll pay $500 to land a customer. If my first time job is $1,000, 2-to-1 ROI, that's great, because the lifetime's 20,000. That's easy math, right? So you should be 2-to-1 is break even in carpet cleaning. 3-to-1 is you make some company money as well. So not every customer should be that. Your repeat should be 20-to-1 because they keep coming back. But you know that lifetime value. So all of that's built into our blueprint. If any of that makes sense to you at all, it's part of what we call our best known cleaner. There is no one marketing that you can do that will build your cleaning business. It isn't. You can't just have a better website. Oh, that works. You can't have just SEO, AI, SEO, search everywhere optimization is what that means now. You can't just have social media that we just talked about. You can't just have one paid ad platform or 2 paid ad platforms or 3 paid ad platforms. You can't just have your Google Maps possibly ranking 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles for one of your search terms or 2 of your search terms, right? You can't just have your reputation being marketed or rely on word of mouth. But you do it all and you tie it all together with like a conversion tool like Carpet Cleaner Lead Pro that we provide and built. And now you have the 7 core functions of a proper, essential digital marketing plan. And you tie that with your offline marketing and you tie that into growth. And now you are unstoppable. There is a plan. There is a formula for this. So if any of that makes sense, reach out to us, right? This is what we do. This is what I've coached on since 2007. This is what I've learned and built as a kid in the same industry you're in. And this is what I sold everything off to provide, is the coaching and the services and the marketing support as a growth partner, the done together marketing. It's a whole different framework, but it's the right way to do it. You're not finding somebody locally that maybe works with the plumber and works with a veterinarian and works with a real estate agent. Now it's going to work with the carpet cleaner. They're going to build a website. That's not strategic. You now have to become the general contractor and know all of the things to piece that together, right? When I go to build, I did a backyard renovation earlier this year when I did some renovations during COVID, like all of us, right? Do I want to be the general contractor and bring in the electrician and bring in the plumber and bring in the this and all that kind of stuff and find them all and get them, try and figure out how to get them all to work together? And I don't like this guy. Or do I want to hire a general contractor, which I did, that does all of that for me and finds his best guys, right? So I still advised and got what I wanted. I was just the business owner, if you think in that world, and orchestrator of what's going on, but I hired the right people and the right person to bring the right people in. So that's how you work with growth partners. If that sounds interesting to you, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/schedule. What that does, there'll be a little survey to fill out. On that survey, tell us about the size of your business. Like, we're going to ask that, where you're at in your growth, all that kind of stuff. Our team is going to do some deep research. You're going to get onto either one of my team's calendar or my calendar, depending on where you want to go with your business. And I will do a consult. I'm not a sales pitch. I got nothing to sell you. I'm going to do a consult on how you grow from where you are to where you need to be, and the gaps in between. Who's competitor? Which one of your local competitors are stealing all your work? And I can show you where that is. We're going to do about $500 worth of deep research in your marketplace that we're going to bring to the table as well. And I charge a heavy penny for one-on-one consulting. I charge $5,000 a day to be flown plus all expenses to come into a business 2 days minimum to restructure multi-million-dollar businesses. I do a little bit of that. I don't do a lot of it because I don't like being away from home that much. But I do consulting to help businesses grow. I help all of our clients in our, again, 90-day sprints and all of that kind of stuff, and work with them where they're at to get them to where they want to go. Everybody needs to learn something new. Once you learn that, a light bulb goes off and you're on to the next one. You stack. So if any of that makes sense to you at all, if you're looking to transform your business, if you're worried about the direction of the world and the economy and how AI is going to displace hundreds of thousands, if not millions, well, it will be millions of employees, middle management, middle class, and the only people that are left that do any of this stuff are going to be higher end anyways. If that scares you, if you understand that as people get laid off from factories and all of that kind of stuff, they start entering the cleaning business world. Happens every single time. We went from, I think it was about 50 to 150 carpet cleaners in the yellow pages during the 2008-9 10 recession. People got laid off from factories and this and that, opened up a cleaning business, maid service, carpet cleaning, pressure washing, window cleaning, low barrier of entry. It's not easy to run a business, but they all come into things like that, right? So if any of that scares you or you're worried about it, you're looking to find that angle, reach out. We'd look forward to talking to you. carpetcleanermarketmaster.com/schedule. Otherwise, wherever you're watching this, make some comments. Let me know what you thought of the content, anything you'd like to see next, anything you'd like to learn about. And with that, I bid you a fond adieu. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. It's very meaningful. I appreciate you for doing that. And till next time, take care and happy marketing.